Welcome back from spring break and week number 9, which is tourism. And in this particular section, we're going to think a little bit about uh, uh, the ages of tourism, as you see on the screen here, and some of the ways people get around, and even really why tourism exists. And historically, it's really been divided into 5 distinct ages or periods. When I think about this, I think about the technology advances, and that there was the pre-industrial time, and then that gave way to the railway age when trains were the major mode of transportation, which then gave way to cars, which were a much more accessible way for people to get around, until finally the jet aircrafts came into existence to add a little bit of speed, and the cruise ship age. And so when we think about those, and you go into those in a little bit more depth in the content this week, we can think about why tourism exists and really the economic impact of tourism. And I think that it's so fascinating in this period of time to think about this because of what the pandemic had done to tourism. It really essentially stopped tourism because people were not permitted to travel. Historically, pre-pandemic, international travelers spent $94 billion to travel and visit the United States. That generates $100 billion in tax receipts. And those travelers really stopped. And we haven't gotten back to those levels yet. And the most compelling factor, tourism industry represents 1 in 10 jobs generated. So think about that and the impact that that's had on people needing to find a different livelihood. And why that's important is really because all of the areas that we've talked about so far are really interdependent on each other. You need the planes to bring the people here to stay in the hotels. The restaurants need people to stay in hotels so that they have a customer that needs to come and eat in their restaurant. What brings someone to that place but the recreation or attractions, whether it be a convention center because they're coming to a conference, or a theme park because they're going on vacation. Really, when we see that, all of those interdependent entities, and what it does is what's called the multiplier effect. So when a tourist comes out from outside of this area into this area, and they spend money to travel, they stay in a hotel, they eat in a restaurant, they visit some of the attractions in the area, that money is then used by those businesses to purchase more goods to pay their employees. And then that money then is used to purchase groceries, pay for rent. So on the next slide, what you're going to see is that really when new dollars are injected into the economy, it really does impact so many different places, and hopefully locally. And an important thing to know, and also as you're thinking about career opportunities, right? We've already thought about a lot, but there are promoters of tourism. Now, the United States does not have a Department of Tourism or a Ministry of Tourism like other countries do, but we do have some agencies that do help to promote tourism, such as the National Tourism Organization, Travel Industry of America. There are state offices of tourism, or really what's more prevalent than state and city level offices is really the convention and visitors bureaus, right? So in San Francisco, that's called SF Travel. There's also one in San Mateo County for the Mid-Peninsula area. National offices of tourism, there's the Pacific Area Travel Association, and then there's individual tour operators, travel agencies, travel corporations, tour wholesalers and consolidators, and then destination management companies. These all play a role in trying to entice people to come and visit the particular area. And so if you're thinking about different job opportunities, this might be a place to explore for you if you're interested in that side of the business. The assignment that we have on tourism, when I asked what is the fastest way to get there, the cheapest way to get there, and then the most fun way to get there, really that was designed. I don't think anyone used a travel agency to try to ask those questions, right? Because we have all of this technology with Google and different sites and sources that were used to be able to research that information. And so thinking that our customers are doing the same, maybe that leads you to one path or another when you're thinking about a career. And then, thinking again about why people travel. There's going to be business travel, but then there's other reasons that people travel that we're going to explore in the coming weeks when it comes to meetings, conventions and expositions, when it comes to special events, and things like that. And of course, recreation is going to be a big part of it. And then really thinking about ecotourism, kind of leaving the place better than the way you found it, and exploring some of those options. So I really do hope that you enjoy thinking about this tourism concept this week in a little bit more detail. And please don't hesitate to let me know if you have any questions, and have a great week ahead.